All right, sharp today. I no go waste time. I get a bonge guest for inside the house. So make I quickly go run and through the hot topics and when I get this evening, and then I'll bring my guest. Sharply make it begin put mouth for all the stock then we say we get for grant this evening. Because matter than what I get today, then too plenty. And I would like me to talk them one by fellow. All right, so make we rush them sharp. First on our lineup, US Congress they consider to ban Mieti Allah or consider anti-Mieti Allah bill amid alleged Christian genocide. Another way if it interprets that matter, now say US Congress they target visa ban and other kind of ban, assets visa ban on Mieti Allah and other people them where they see as people where they sponsor or encourage terrorism for inside the country. They don't name those people there. Not part of it we're going to talk about. If they don't name them, or then they threaten to release the name. So then we could move on to other issues. US Pentagon don't weigh possible air and ground military action targeting Islamist terrorists across northern Nigeria. Sheikh Gumi threatens to sue lawyer Omoye over terrorism remarks. Why? You know now. Now they got it all right, Trump. They talk, say, Judo-Christian genocide exists for Nigeria. They demand U.S. inquiry. In fact, he put up 7-point agenda, 7 key points. Now, if you say carry give Oga Jonah. So Oga Jonah, come on with these 7 points of mine. I hope I'm able to convince you and not confuse you that there is indeed genocide against Igbo for Nigeria. Hey, Christian Igbo people. China again offers support for Nigeria's fight against terrorism, rejects foreign interference. Foreign, not interfere. We, China, will support Nigeria. Amid U.S. threats, China pledges continuous support for Nigeria fight against terrorism. Move on. Trump's threats using funny friends for diplomacy or Lawepo Hashim. Now they talk this one. Don't pressure me. I shall access Tinubu's regime whenever I feel like. I want to take my time. Meanwhile, Shoyinka don't reply Donald Trump as he get to do with things we get to happen with waiting and think about waiting Trump they do right now as he tackle critics when they criticize him about Tinubu matter. Move on to other issues too. Yoruba Union don't hail US Congress over bill to ban Fulani headsmen, demand sanctions for Tinubu, IGP Egbechoku and others. And Nigerian senator backs Trump's call, says Nigeria cannot yet account for Leah Sharibu. After how many years? Other Chibok schoolgirls did not account for them, and we say we get straight to fight terrorism. A senator now they talk about which senator? I will let you know. Now we make idea here to bring on all the juice for the gist. Nigerian senator, I don't tell you that matter. Okay, move on. We notified Nigerian army. We notified Nigerian government about Yelwata terrorist attack multiple times, but nothing was done about it. What one? A US-based organization. Waiting with their name, I could let you in on their name later on. In fact, I get video evidence to this matter set. 31 US lawmakers, as I talk to you right now, don't back Oga Donald Trump's designation of Nigeria, urge stiffer sanctions over alleged killings. Say, may they give that sanction where this is strong. We're strong. If they try to lose them, they don't go feel lose and say that kind of sanction where they will give them. Despite fear of Nigerians, we are engaging the world diplomatically. Tinubu again now respond to Trump warning. All right, we can move on to other issues. Wike's PDP faction postpones the Kitiguba primary election. And then the other faction of PDP don't protest in front of US Embassy. US, come and help us. So they're intimidating our faction of PDP. One that shall never end. Joining me inside the studio now, Oga Catch on Dr. Catch on now man wait, this is Sabi well. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. This is where you smile. Your political party PDP is at it again. I don't know. What do they intend to gain by this their protest when they carry go US Embassy? I mean, what the US want to do for us on this protest? When they say they marginalize and intimidate a faction of the PDP. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, sir. So what drama is playing out in PDP? Remember I told you, I did ask that.
There's no drama. There's no drama.
Before we go on, I did ask that question. I said, without sanctioning Wike, are you sure Wike would ever let PDP succeed? And you said once the convention
exactly
that Atiku has left everything.
That's what I told you.
Okay, sir.
That was why I told you. this will be resolved through the nature. Okay, once the party finds unity, and that's the problem, the party didn't have unity before. The party committed a catastrophic mistake by not respecting, and that was why
Wiki is not backing out. That's the point. You can see the drama. What did they do?
Forget Wiki. Listen,
and everybody they support them.
Just those things on Wiki and Anya, they attack. Whatever, and tell you the minute the Badon Convention is true, the government will time to rebuild the party, and that's how it is.
But Sadi,
parties are private entities.
They don't cancel them. You know, say one of the factional chairman, one of the factional chairmen don't cancel the Badon Convention. So what's the possibility of it holding with this drama and court cases?
That is not true. There's no factional chairman. Stop saying what you don't know. There is no factional chairman. So the party is intact. The party saw that some of its officers were behind the attempt to undermine the Badon Convention, and it took steps to suspend them. It took records of such actions to INEC. INEC received it. It was then those people whose suspension were accepted by INEC now try to come to make big at the secretariat, but then that didn't work. It's a process. The party made a mistake. They got caught up in the Atiku Abubakar conundrum, and we reacted. I left with Do Inugugbe and Peter Obi to start the youth movement. Some other people chose a different strategy in their reactions, and that's Wike going on this brawl, which I don't think is the right thing to do. So we've moved on. The party have listened to our complaints while we left to be the movement. It was because they did not respect zoning, and they have now zoned. They've zoned to the south. Fine. Now they've listened to it, and you have behaved in line with our wishes. We will look at you. They say they're going to Ibadan. We say no problem. Go to Ibadan. Once you're successful with your convention, we will see you heal. And that's the process they're in. So I don't see an issue. There is no faction. Forget the attempts at acrobatics.
The Abdurrahman Mohammed, who does he is the national chairman.
Who is that you're talking of? Who's Abdurrahman Mohammed? Who is it? Yeah, those are intentions. Those are dreams. The party's BOT had a marathon meeting. The party's NEC had a marathon meeting. It's okay for you to go to the motor park and hire a dog and then bring him to the offices of Microsoft. Microsoft is a company that's involved with coding software. When you not come there, it doesn't belong to Microsoft. So there's nothing wrong with people trying to do all this. It's not going to work. That's why you've seen the Americans are here. These things don't last forever. It has an effect. Now we're talking about a postmortem on Buhari, and Tinubu is complaining. Why is he being punished by the Americans? And we're telling him, you're being punished because 2 years after you became the president, you have not been able to calibrate any response or reaction to the Fulani militiamen. And that's why we think you are not strong enough to keep the country. There is a struggle for Nigeria. And that's why he has this problem with the Americans. It's not based on what Nigerians told the Americans. No. It's based on data that the Americans do have. So this is no more time for propagations. It is time for you to look at the data you have. And if you think those data are enough, you work at it. Why are we where we are? In 2 years of coming to power, Tinubu is aware of the problem. But because Tinubu has not been able to show leadership in securing the country, that's why our international partners are afraid that with Tinubu's incompetence in managing the security of this country, that jihadists could overrun the country. And that's why you're seeing the Americans say they are coming in. And they are telling you, if you're not, and the jihad, historically, there have never been a successful jihad without genocide. Genocide is the historic component of jihads.
So why are we denying the existence of genocide if that's part of it?
We are denying because some of us that the world does not have information and data about what are Nigeria. There is nothing wrong. You catch a thief, take him to, he will still enter a plea of not guilty. But the problem is the Americans got involved with Nigeria for over 12 years now, kept supplying money to Nigerians, kept supplying equipment to the Nigerians, and listed Nigerian as CPC, country of particular concern. And then later on, during the Biden administration, it was removed diplomatically. But as Tinubu came in, the thought is, okay, Tinubu, you're a Yoruba man. We know the Fulani jihad. You, a Yoruba man, may not be with them. But in 2 years of being in power, Tinubu has shown incompetence in managing the Fulani war. And because he has shown that incompetence, that's where we are. He started the jihad. Buhari started the jihad. And Buhari did it as in 2015. I traveled to Bamako during the 2015 peace accord, which was the war in Central Mali. But instead of Buhari and other West African leaders to work to have an implementation of that 2015 agreement, no. Buhari started thinking about bringing the Fulanis who are displaced to come and resettle in Nigeria, and that was how he started his program of reserves. Nigerians rejected. He said cow colony. Nigerians rejected. He said consolidation of underground and surface water plus 6 kilometers of embarking land. Nigerians refused. And when Nigerians refused, at that time, Senator Godswill Akpabio was the Senate minority leader. It was his filibuster in refusing for that bill that caused the Tuesday after that for Buhari's people to come and accost him in his office. That was how Akpabio was now forced to go to APC as a way to save his neck. Now, that went on. Buhari tried to bring other schemes like grazing routes, and we told him grazing routes is an idea suggested by one of the states when the states were poor. Under ours, whatever one state does, if it clashes with the general constitution for the entire country, the constitution will take precedence. And that was how Buhari failed. But all that he was doing, he was looking for land. And that was when the Fulani leadership now decided to employ the services of the militiamen to embark on ethnic cleansing that we gain land for the resettlement of these Fulani refugees coming from all over West Africa. And you heard what they said. I myself traveled to Mali, Burkina Faso. I went to Niger. I went to Ghana. I even went to Cyprus. I also went to Yemen. Just understand this influx of people in Nigeria. Why are they living where they're living? Why are they coming here? And there was a policy by Buhari administration. Fulani from all over the world can come to Nigeria and take Nigeria. But the problem with that was, historically, Nigerians, like other Africans, are emotionally attached to land. Nigerians refused to yield land, and that was how this problem came. Buhari's spokesperson, but they should not told us that it's either we will give up our land or we could lose our fighting to protect that. It was very popular. I said it on TV, and Nigerians refused to give up their land. But as you can see, the Fulani militia men drawn up from the elements of Gandokoy, so Tabita Pulako, and also elements of Mieti Allah Koto Hori, led by Abdullahi Bello Bodejo. The other one was by Bello Turji. And all these units were simply engaged in ethnic cleansing actions. These things were supported by the Buhari administration. And that was when General Tiwa Danjuma told the country that the soldiers of the Nigerian army were colluding with the Fulani militias. And in all this time, because of such behaviors, Nigerians now understood that the Buhari administration, the government, was complicit in the ethnic cleansing actions as a strategy for him to gain land, which he did not get from Nigerian people when he applied for it through the assemblies. So this is where we are. We suffered it. It happened in Plateau State. It happened in Southern Kaduna. It happened in Gombe. It happened in Southern Borno. It also happened in Taraba. It's happening in Benue State. And in all this, we cried. I myself, for the past 12 years, I was constantly on television against this thing and to bring something awareness to Nigerians. And I know what I went through. I have my scars because the Fulani elite knew what they were doing. Now Tinubu has become president. But what we hear is that Tinubu is afraid that should he take efforts to stop the Fulani militias, that according to some sources, they will kill him. So it is principally Tinubu's fear of what the Fulani elite will do to him that made him to become incompetent in managing or stopping the ethnic cleansing actions are the reasons for the current Christian genocide, because the Fulanis who came from outside Nigeria wanted land with water. So they looked at the Benue Valley, water and the fresh grass. They were very interested in Matthew. It has European kind of weather. Grass is there always and they have water. Same thing with Taraba. And that same, you look at Southern Borno, you look at Gombe. And this problem is also there in Southern Kaduna. So ours is, yes, we know it exists. Yes, we agree it is not President Tinubu that started it. But why hasn't Tinubu been able to stop it in 2 years since the power?
All right, sir. So now,
and as the current negotiation for peace, according to them, was happening between government bodies and the Fulani militias, we were seeing in states like Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, these militias will come to meetings with their shoulder-propelled grenade launchers, coming to the meetings with their submachine guns, and being allowed to take it back to also keep the land. So when I found out that the same set of Muslim leaders from the north who deceived President Goodluck when he actually unleashed General Yejirika and the army on this same terrorists, have now told President Tinubu not to do anything. And that's why you see the Americans have to come in. So for me, we are happy for the new turn of events. And we're watching with trepidations.
All right, sir. So now when this one don't happen, is there enough or enough reason for the U.S. now, the U.S. Congress, to introduce a law where they aim at giving visa bans and freezing of assets for individuals and groups which they accuse of killing Christians for Nigeria. And they name some organizations where we know Mieti Alakato Heroes and Mieti Alakato Breeders. The two organizations. I don't know whether they did different, but they named the two.
Even right now, there are about 6 organizations.
Don't they raise outrage now because people they look at as a profiling of the Fulani? Because I mean, if the majority, the normal occupation of the Fulani people are heading, and then you can't say you they profile the organization where they lead that business, what did they do? That means you don't profile the entire organization with that now. However, then the US not a back down now. In the US, we talk this introducing for a bill where we say now one Congress member, House of Representatives Smith Christopher, yesterday Tuesday night introduced for the US yesterday Tuesday. Now after President Donald Trump designates Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Now what? Welcoming Mr. Trump's decision, Mr. Christopher expressed satisfaction with how the held. See, they never give back or they never back up say Nigerian government not accountable. They still say Nigerian government they are accountable and complicit for religious persecution by radical Islamists such as Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists. That's what they even call them. Not be me write this one, not be my handwriting. They say they're Fulani terrorists. The United States, quoting them, the United States through the Department of the State and Department of Treasury should impose targeted sanctions, including visa bans and asset freeze under the global Magnitsky framework and other restriction measures on individuals and entities responsible for severe violations of religious freedom in Nigeria, including sanctions against Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria and Mieti Allah Kautu Hore. That's so they use name the bill. So this one now don't make Muslims in the vex. They talk, say, I mean, especially for an instruction, and which is quite well, because how do you ban an organization that is, we get to do with a particular ethnic group? How you take see this one, sir?
For me, I'm very happy with the current U.S. actions. Because for me, these people have not been sincere in this, in their own participation in the Nigerian project. I am happy for the U.S. actions. I am happy for the U.S. pronouncement. Our only anger is that some Nigerians want to live in denial. I would think living in denial would not help them. And also you have to understand that living in denial is a choice. For me, the majority of Nigerians want a stop to the killings of Nigerians by Fulani militiamen. The jihad itself is wrong. And I will continue to say this. It didn't start now. You're talking about targeted sanctions. Nigeria is supposed to be a secular state. But there are some politicians like Yerima who never respected that, introducing Sharia, which the other leaders copied. And when they copied it, that undermined Nigerian. I think what you see them doing, coups, that started with the Buhari coup, that was actually done to stop the sharing of power between Christians and Muslims. Don't forget, as I said earlier, at the end of the Nigerian Civil War in 1970, Nigeria was 35% Muslim. Till this minute, Nigeria remained a Christian majority country. Check the bank records, check the travel records, check student enrollments. Nigeria remains till tomorrow morning a Christian majority country. But the Muslims use a cascade of coups to gain advantage, remove the history from our school curriculum so that there's no way you can teach the story of these coups and how they were used to create decrees that we were not forced to accept if we seek to allow democracy to come. So we have taken those coup decrees, but the democracy is not working in the ways that the soldiers wrote decrees. And that's why you're seeing the Northerners don't allow for free and fair election. You saw what happened in the last election, clearly to be won by P2. But their council, they can say they won't allow a Christian to win. And they sold the presidency to Tinubu, and when he refused to involve them in government, they started fighting him. It is because they are fighting him.
As you believe that the 2023 election was rigged against Peter Obi.
He has said it, Tinubu said it, that he wants the presidency. Listen, Tinubu have said it publicly. When they accused him that they made him president, said they didn't make him president, that he bought the presidency with his money, which is true. And we know so. That's why when they come to him and say, let us work.
And you think that they sold it to him, or that transaction happened if it is only because they didn't want a Christian Peter Obi to be in power? Is that what you're saying?
That is what they did, because he warned them that if the problem of June 12 was a Southern Abiola won election, it was annulled and the advantage was given to a Northerner who's Abacha. Don't do it. If you don't like the Southerner that has emerged, give it to me and look after you. But instead of giving it to him as a party man, no, they sold it to him. Because they sold it to him, he got angry with them. And every time they come to share power, he said that they sold the presidency to him and he bought it, so he doesn't owe them. And that's where the genesis of this current crisis we have. Seeing them bolting out from the APC to go from ADC, see them bolting out, and you start hearing SFOKU. And now the Americans understanding that there are very shaky things about the leadership of the country. They now want to come in, citing the genocide as their reason for intervention. Now, Nigeria is not working for anybody. Happy that Americans are coming. Because I've looked at the back end. I looked at Germany. Americans have a base there. I've looked at Japan. Americans have a base at Okinawa. If the problem is the base, the Americans say they seek in backup, let them come and take it. It is that we have an American base in Nigeria, that we have an Al-Qaeda or ISWAP base of it. If the government, as we have seen, is incompetent in reacting to the Fulani war, then we should find somebody strong who can safeguard us. The Fulani free hand is the reason, and the fact that nobody has challenged them is the reason why you've seen them on this killing spree. When you talk, they say they also kill Hausas. Of course, in every jihad, the infidels are killed, and then the Muslims that are considered indispensable, in this case, Hausa Muslims, are being killed by Fulanis because the Fulanis also seek their land in places like Sapana, Basari, Dutsemma, Kankara, and Musa. I even hear now that Malumfashi has also been taken by the Fulani. And they go as far as places like Bungudu, to as far as Anka and Dangobe, even Goroyo. So the Hausas, yes, are being expanded because they are seen as undesirables, because primarily for their land. So if you now see this genocide going on like this, and they talk and nothing happens, of course, the majority of Nigerians are happy that the international community led by the United States are showing interest about the unending ethnic cleansings and going on across Nigeria, states like Benue, Taraba, Plateau, Southern Kaduna, Southern Southern Borno, Gombe, and these are not good things for anybody to talk about. So we welcome the American initiative, but I think we here yesterday. The Americans are wasting time. They should come quickly. They should have been here yesterday, and I don't know why they're wasting time.
Let me give you that update, sir. Let me quickly drop that update. So very quickly, We hear that the United States Department of Defense is reportedly considering series of military options for potential operations in northern Nigeria, following President Donald Trump's recent warning that the U.S. may intervene to protect Nigeria's Christian population from extremist attacks, or protect rather. Now, according to New York Times, the Pentagon has tasked the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, with drafting multiple strategies for responding to Islamist terrorist activity in the region. Now, the proposals developed under direct instructions from President Donald Trump outlined varying levels of military engagements, ranging from limited cooperation with Nigerian forces. Did you hear it? Limited cooperation with Nigerian forces to full-scale air and naval operations. I don't know whether you understand that point. Okay, sir. I know, sir.
I do, but all this wasting time. They should have started yesterday.
So they also said, sources familiar with the discussion said AFRICOM presented three primary options to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The first, described as a light approach, would involve intelligence sharing and joint missions with Nigerian troops against Boko Haram and Islamic sect, linked, the Islamic factions responsible for the kidnappings. And the second is a medium option that would authorize targeted drone strikes using MQ-9, Reaper, and MQ-1 Predator aircraft to hit militant camps directly and vehicle convoys in the north. Then the heavy option, considered the most aggressive, calls for deploying an aircraft carrier group to the Gulf of Guinea, supported by long-range bombers and fighter jets, to carry out deep strikes within Nigerian territory. These are the options that maybe say they don't list out. However, defense analysts have warned that such an escalation could prove counterproductive. Now, according to, that's what some of them have done, make a little even go through. Now, remember, this one may be worrisome, especially the third option, because of waiting Sheikh Gumi talk. Say no believe, say attacking the bandits or terrorists, now an option, considering say they don't already infiltrated into the society. Do you think he's saying that deliberately because he knows it? Because right now there's some information, people are already gossiping that these terrorists are already moving up south, considering that the target is within
it's not forget it.
South. And look, already we also did mention earlier before that they're already across all the forests of the south already in the first place. So they're just moving towards that direction already. So
I want you to have something in mind.
Okay, sir.
If there is political will, Nigerians can defeat the terrorists in 10 days.
Yeah, but Shegumi
problem Nigeria.
Shegumi said it hasn't been possible for Nigerian troops.
I am telling you this. The reasons why we have not been able to.
You understand the characteristics.
Listen, the reasons why we've not been able. Don't forget, I have been on this issue for 13 years. I got on this issue as the crisis started in Central African Republic. And when it went from Central African Republic to Mali, I knew this was the West African problem. So in all that, I know the Fulani will never succeed because they don't have the numbers. Now, the only problem why the problem got elongated in Nigeria was because the government was actively complicit. If the U.S. pressure can now make the government turn around, because it is in Tinubu's interest to work with the Americans, if that Tinubu is with the Fulani long-term plan of appropriating Nigeria. Tinubu can use the coming of the Americans to actually extricate himself from the grip of the Fulanis, stay with the Americans to save his own neck, stay with the Americans to then take the Fulani out, supporting the actions with his instrument as president of Nigeria. This is an option that is good for the rest of the country. If Tinubu doesn't do this, I see very dirty outcomes for our country. If he doesn't do this, he's not willing to be the man to do the job, the Americans could demand regime change. I think he has the wherewithal or the capacity to stop them, because Nigeria currently is divided. Tinubu continued to employ policy of his administration, meaning those who are excluded from governance would not cooperate with him. Nobody is going to work to put opposition to the Americans, no. The Christians in Nigeria who have been under the fire of the Muslims will want this thing to stop. So the Christians immediately are in happy embrace of the coming of the Americans. Plus, the Hausas who are also suffering in states like Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, the Hausas will want the Americans to come and do what they say they will do, because Hausas are being killed. When you hear Muslims are being killed also, it is Hausa Muslims. These people are seen as expendable collateral damage by the Fulani militiamen who also seek to take their land.
Why?
Yes. Why? Because in population, the core Hausa states without mixes like Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kano, these places are Hausa land, but Hausas don't have control. But you see, because of the length of our democracy, Hausas have gotten awareness, and they now know that the Fulani are not the very best of friends. Don't also forget that the Fulani refused to accept sociological assimilation. Mostly will marry a Hausa woman. It doesn't happen in Nigeria. This is how divided it is. Yes, that's a fact. Okay? Well, it is that bad. Fulani don't consider as humans. As I speak to you today, no Hausa man, apart from probably the emir of Ankara or one or two other people, is emir anywhere in Hausa land. It is that bad. They have the number, but I believe
but it is ancestrally their land. Is it not ancestrally the land?
It is ancestrally their land, but you see,
so they can't even go over their own land.
In having foreigners, the first foreigners to come here were the Portuguese. The second to come here were the British. Last were the Fulani who came in 1804. But when, after we got the colonial status and we got independence, the British left. When they left, the Fulani stayed. And that's why the Fulani now think that as the British left, that they should become the new colonial masters. And what is bringing trouble is the Fulani's attempt to foist a system of settler colonialism across Hausa land. Probably banking on their small success over some parts of Hausa land, they now think they can spread settler colonialism. That's where the problem is. They don't have the numbers, and this is not possible. I tell people the Fulani will fail because settler colonialism did not work in South Africa, it did not work in Namibia, it did not work in Zimbabwe, it did not work in Mozambique. It's not going to work in Nigeria. This is at the heart of this crisis. The only people who are complaining about Americans coming are the Fulani. And maybe some apprehensive Yorubas who are afraid that Tinubu may lose power. But everybody is happy for the coming of the Americans because it will force a reset of society and probably force free and fair election. And if you look at all the countries where America has bases, take a look at Japan, an American base at Okinawa, and probably Germany. Stable democracies. These are great industrial nations. So I don't really see what the problem is. And don't also forget the fact that the Russians have control of Niger and also control Burkina Faso and Mali. Americans believe if Russians gain control of Nigeria, that the West is gone. So that's why you see there is an urgency when people are now alarmed that Tinubu is incompetent in securing Nigeria against the Fulani intentions. This is the reason why the West are alarmed. Never mind the rhetorics by the Chinese. The Chinese they don't count. They're inconsequential. The strategic, regional politics. It doesn't concern them. Theirs is just to sell, to have markets for their goods, and also to have supply points for the raw materials that they seek. And I know Nigeria has lithium, which we get from the tantalite we have all over the country. Of course, we have a deposit of natural gas in Africa at Imo State in a place called Asa North, Haji local government. And of course, Nigeria is very, very rich in a lot of these things. But you see, the Muslims who started in 1978 to want to dominate Nigeria, which was the reasons why, when it was time to share case of Buhari the Muslim, and it was to go now to Ekweme the Christian, Buhari struck. Buhari was later to tell the North that the reason for the coup sharing power with the Christians just a few years after the end of the Civil War, that they won the war. And since then, there's been a Nigerian policy against the Igbo. Why? The Igbo represent the largest bloc of tribal Christians anywhere in Nigeria. So that Muslim versus Christian animosity has continued. So the jihad has been there psychologically. We're only complaining because we've seen the physical jihad, where lives are being taken in the plateau, in the valley, in the mountain ranges, in Gimbu, and of course in southern Kaduna, in southern Borno, in Gombe, and Tarab. So we have to understand the Muslims have been at this for a long time.
All right, sir.
This country remains, as I speak to you, a Christian majority country. Yourself, how were the Muslims able, a cascade of coups, to now hold the country in a way that doesn't work, decrees that don't allow for progress, and every time you do, they want to do coup. As you've just seen, they wanted to do coup before the DMI arrested them. If the Americans coming will help us get a reset, for us to reset our country to become democratic, we're able to count, then I'm not against it. I believe those who are against it now are, never mind the rhetorics about sovereignty. When Nigeria last year wanted to invade Niger Republic, wasn't Niger Republic a sovereign country? Leave those issues. We're in a world of big fish must to chop small fish. That's where we are. So we thank the Americans, and we're very grateful for the American decision to focus attention on Nigeria. But my own is they should have been here since yesterday. They're wasting time.
So to make us see they take some more reaction we get to do with this. I sure say you don't see all the interviews where Sheikh Gumi don't get recently when he did Trump support for the terrorists, especially. They're saying that it's important to negotiate with them because it's going to be very difficult to handle them, what the Nigerian military was unable to do for over almost 20 years, for the US to just come promote them. Say themselves to be human beings, they be people, children, so that it's only fair to negotiate with them and find out what their grievances are so that they can handle them. However, he himself, Sheikh Gumi, he don't threaten to take legal action against human rights lawyer Malcolm Amokinyovu Omorebo. Over what he described as defamatory allegations capable of inciting religious tensions in Nigeria. Now, in a post shared on his official Facebook page today, Thursday, Gumi demanded that Omorebo retract his statement as an issue and issue unreserved apology within 48 hours or face lawsuit for defamation and incitement. Now, Chief Malcolm should retract his defamatory allegations against me, that's what he said, and tender an unreserved apology, another press release within 48 hours. Otherwise, he should be charged to court of law for defamation and intent to stir religious crisis. And so right now, the threat comes in response to a statement issued by Mr. Malcolm titled, "Terrorism Apology is a Crime. Government must investigate and prosecute Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, in which the lawyer, Omoye, that is Malcolm, accused the cleric Sheikh Gumi publicly of justifying and defending terrorists and called for his arrest and prosecution by security agencies. So in a statement, Omoye cited provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended, the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, and the Criminal Code Act, arguing that Gumi's comments and visits to bandit camps amounted to support for terrorism and posed a threat to national security. Apparently, Oga Sheikh Gumi used and vex, say no. Now, you don't hear all the things that we Sheikh Gumi been done talk recently in support of these people there. What do you think about what Oga Malcolm talk, the lawyer talk, and his Sheikh Gumi's subsequent reaction to what he said?
Gumi has been able to get away with all the crimes he has been committing in the open. It is complicit with the killings. The Nigerian state is complicit, and that's the reason why actors like Gumi can walk the street free.
So if that is
Gumi doesn't hide who he is.
What if he has made statements that warrant the kind of reaction that Mr. Malcolm made or Barrister Malcolm made? Then why is he angry over it? Why is he suing? If his comment
it is that way because
Go ahead, sir.
In denial by criminals is a norm. You can see people and others being involved in denial killings that have been going on for a long time. Gumi had points being at some negotiator for some of these terrorists that they kidnap people. And yet the state has not done anything against Gumi. And everybody who commits the crimes against the state that Gumi commits, any of such persons will be been arrested by now. But Gumi goes free, does these things, argues on behalf of terrorists. Recently he told the world that we should go and negotiate with the terrorists.
Oh dear, I think network has kicked him out. All right, so while we're waiting for him to rejoin us, make we quickly take that press briefing by President Donald Trump. And this is just exactly the template of that conversation we began before.
Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands and thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. That's a legal definition. When the Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. What horrible numbers. Something has to be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and to report back to me. And I mean, like, immediately. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. It's not only Nigeria, it's all over. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. This is not going to happen. The killing of Christians is not. To immediately look into this matter and to report back to me. And I mean, like, immediately. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. It's not only Nigeria, it's all over. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. This is not going to happen. The killing of Christians is not going to happen.
So you don't hear Oga Trump reiterate those things we've been talk on tweets for Truth Social. They don't reiterate them again, mention them again, just so many people know, say, they been talking. In case they don't understand the handwriting, we carry talking before. This time around, in flesh and blood, they stand, but talk them again. Say, well, this kind of thing, we know go take them again. It no go continue to happen because it no supposed to continue to happen. Now, a particular Christian organization also been get a report as to what they happen and how they use reports to the president, to the presidency about what get to do with these attacks over the years. And they did complain that Nigeria barely did anything about it. And I thought that we should look into that matter because, I mean, why not? So, in a video, Jude Saul, founder of Truth Nigeria, a United States-based advocacy group, Truth Nigeria, claimed it alerted the Nigerian government and security agencies about a planned attack in Yelwata village, Guma local government area of Benue State, days before the June 13, 2025 massacre. But nothing was done to prevent it. Even though they carry their own mouths. Now them get the intelligence report to, now them tell our government to see what won't happen days way before it happened. And yet our government they can't until according to denominator. Now, in the video, he said that the Bola Ahmed Tinubu led the Nigerian government and security forces he accused them of complicity in the killing of Christians by Islamic extremists operating across several states. Of course. Now, this is very, very worrisome. While I still wait for Dr. Katch to rejoin, it be like saying network they give him difficulty. He's trying to rejoin. Let's quickly take a listen to what he said and also what his partner said about this.
You cannot ignore the fact that there is Nigerian government complicity with these attacks. You saw some of our journalists in the documentary. We wanted to be an organization that tells the truth about what's happening in Nigeria, hence truthnigeria.com. I want to just kind of let everybody know and help you understand how Nigerian news works. If a Nigerian government official does not call for a news conference, the event did not exist. So in order for the narrative to get to the mainstream media, get picked up by Al Jazeera, get picked up by CNN, everything else, it comes from a Nigerian government source. From the very beginning, they determine the narrative. The reporters regurgitate the government narrative. We decided to be a voice and try to help change that paradigm and created Truth Nigeria to document what is actually happening. How many of you guys know that there were 10 Christians killed in Kaduna just the other day? How many of you know that there were 30 Christians killed in Plateau just a week ago? How many of you know that besides the 280 Christians that were killed in Yelawada on June 13th, we are now about over 500 Christians that have been killed total since Yelawada? No one knows. The media is not reporting it. Well, that's why we formed Truth Nigeria, to talk about what is going on. But also, what we pointed out in the documentary that I'd like everybody to realize is that Truth Nigeria had information that the attack on Yelawada was going to occur 3 weeks before the attack happened. Now, when we get a terror alert, we find information, we know attacks are going to occur. Our method is we issue a terror alert on our website, truthnigeria.com, but we also immediately call the local authorities. We notify the Nigerian military, the DSS, the Nigerian government, to let them know this is what we found out, this is our intelligence. Now, a day before the attack, we got word that there's movement happening. They are mobilizing, and they are coming for Yelawada. So the day before, our team notified the government, the local authorities, the army, the police, and said, hey, there's movement, they're coming, watch out. What happened? Absolutely nothing. The government stood by and did nothing with advance warning multiple times. In fact, there's a military fob with soldiers that was less than a kilometer away while the attacks were going on, shooting warning shots in the air, but did not engage the terrorists as people were being burned to death, hacked to death with machetes, and being...
Wow. So you heard that from them, Dominic Tockham, and the founder of Truth Nigeria, lying they top that one. And it's very embarrassing how they classified, how as you describe how Nigeria they use get news, because that's typically almost what it is. Because how many Nigerian news agencies they go out to the field go source for the things that really happen in terms of these terrorist attacks. How many of them? We only rely on what government tells us that is the news, or maybe we get scoop from villagers, and sometimes as as per person we say you get connection for those areas. How many times do we do this? And this is very embarrassing for an international community or an international organization to be describing a Nigerian media in this way. Not like we are incompetent in doing these jobs, but it's just what it is in Nigeria. And this is very, very embarrassing. I myself, I did very embarrassed to hear this. But
there was no media organizations. And you know what was happening to those people? To Lawrence and Masara Kim and all of them? The journalists sitting in the big capital cities, the big cities and in the capital, who were taking the line from the government and didn't have the courage or the integrity or professionalism or the character or the motivation to go to those frontline villages. They just bought the line from the government that it wasn't really happening, and they bought the line from the U.S. State Department that this is nomadic tribesmen being forced to move from climate change. The Fulani are not really terrorists. They're Muslims.
I'm sorry for cutting this. I'm sorry. I'll get back to playing it again. But it's very important to understand this. Did you see how she systematically narrated the Nigerian perspective or the Nigerian government perspective of the conversation? You hear the way she narrated? Just exactly the way we talk for the news. Say, no, they're not the terrorists. They are just headers. They're nomadic headers. They define water. They define grass. Did you hear that? This is crazy. And then you now think that these are the same people you tell that, oh, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria, or Christians are not being killed more than other religion in Nigeria because they don't get data. People will get foot on ground. That is through different, organizations like this. They have first-hand information of what's happening in our country. Take a listen to it again.
There was no Truth Nigeria. There was no media organizations. And you know what was happening to those people? To Lawrence and Masara Kim and all of them? The journalists sitting in the big capital cities, the big cities and in the capital, who were taking the line from the government and didn't have the courage or the integrity or the professionalism or the character or the motivation to go to those frontline villages. They just bought the line from the government that it wasn't really happening, and they bought the line from the U.S. State Department that this is nomadic tribesmen being forced to move from climate change. The Fulani are not really terrorists. Oh, the fact that they're Muslims got nothing to do with it. Because they're nomadic tribesmen, they're looking for other land. They're looking to go somewhere, and that's forcing them to clash with the Christian villages. Nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. That is just an example to you of how climate has been used as a scam. I mean, it's not just fake, it's much worse than that. All of these systems that are being implemented that are so profoundly dishonest, they're systems of control. How do we control the people, control the information and the narrative, and then have that as cover to do whatever it is that we want to do? Which, by the way, is to go into Christian villages and not only annihilate people. I mean, in one of the recent attacks that Truth Nigeria has reported on, putting women and children inside cages in the market and burning them alive. I mean, I was sitting down to a dinner in my hometown in Texas one Friday night years ago. My husband was with me. It was when we were trying to get The Sound of Freedom was being blocked because people didn't want child trafficking to be a conversation everyone was having. And we were doing our best to help get that movie put out. And I got a video. I showed it to my husband as we sat down. He couldn't eat. And it was a young 18-year-old girl from Nigeria who was pulled from one of the villages. And as they were slicing off her head, they were digging her baby out of her tummy. And she was well advanced in pregnancy. That's the reality of what, when you put those numbers up and you go before your colleagues in Congress and you put those numbers forward, that's what it means in human terms. I mean, Lawrence once was calling Doug and myself. He's sitting in the back of a meat wagon on the bodies of his friends and neighbors with malaria. Remember, after that he went out with malaria for weeks. I mean, these the courage of the people who are on the front lines reporting this cannot be overstated. The challenge that they face is that the media itself denies the reality that they see and report on with their own eyes and ears. I mean, that's without conscience. And honestly, I stand before all of you in the National Press Club of the United States of America, the most powerful free nation on earth, where we have First Amendment rights. And I cannot say strongly enough to the press corps, do your job. Do your job. Because we are supposed to be the inspiration and also the safety net for journalists everywhere. It is truly without conscience that you can witness the execution of people and have it denied because journalists are too lazy, too corrupt, too stupid, too cowardly to stand up and tell the truth. That is without conscience. And, we have to stop being afraid of what people will say to us. We have to stop allowing those who tell the truth to be punished and those who lie to be rewarded.
Whoops. As a journalist and a media practitioner in Nigeria, I am so embarrassed by this way she talk, but unfortunately, not true. Because some of the things we would even carry here for this platform, most mainstream media no go even fit carry themselves. Like some things like this we should talk, we no go even fit carry them. There are several other reports. The reports that I had Frank will talk to us about on Yellow Water and all that. I'm not sure any mainstream media could get delivered to even invite Frank to come talk in that, with that kind of anger, that smite to explain what happened for a village. I don't know why we're like this, but this is unfair. So just like she said, that it looks like the entire idea is to control the narrative, to control what's in the say they go out there, so that only the information we need out there may be waiting to go out. And if that is the way we're already perceived by international community, all these things, they tell them say, no, it's not. We have consistently said it, that no, there is no this, there is no genocide. It's everybody that is being killed. There is no genocide. How do you want to believe us? Now, this is a United States organization. We get foot soldiers here, reporters here. We there for the field. They see those things. They report to the organization headquarters in the US. And we are in Nigeria. Our media organizations in Nigeria, mainstream media, they carry those things. Did you hear what she said? Even when they give this report to our mainstream media, they didn't agree, believe her. She said, things will be said, their own reporters see for Koro Eye. Tell our mainstream media they don't report it. Do you understand? Do you understand the problem? And then now one can go tell them, say no, there's no statistics of those things. How do you even get statistics in the first place? What is your definition of statistics? How do we tell them that? How do we even convince them? Sometimes I wonder what's in the meeting between perhaps President Donald Trump and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will look like. Oh no, Mr. President Donald Trump, there is no Christian killing, genocide in Nigeria. We are all killed. And if you look at the numbers, it's equal. In fact, the Muslims are even killed more. Just like some, Arab people are saying that Muslims are killed more. And then Trump begins to read out statistics based on the records he has. Which statistics we won't give them to use for buttress at one point? How we won't manufacture the statistics and we will give them to buttress at point? There are things that would almost want to make you appear stupid if you imagine it, but it is just crazy, the kind of things we hear. I may have to resort to calling Dr. Catch back over the phone to join us over the phone since the network no longer reconnects again. Apologies, the network issues. One of the things we have to contend with in our dear country. But at the meantime, make I go remind you that this report for inside Middle Belt of a soldier where we say almost all in family members died, an ex-soldier, almost all in family members died. And guess what? Now still international media do this report and documentary about that. All in family members died from herdsmen attack. And guess what? They say now, as they don't die finish, they can't get soldiers come to surround the community. What did they can't do? Why not go chase the people who killed them? You know the region they come from. Why not go chase them? If you can listen to that very
Peter George. This one is for Emma and Ibi. This is Peter George. This one is for Emma and Ibi. This one is for my younger brother, Amidu Agaba. This one is for my cousin brother, Moses James Aduba.
4 indigenous cousins of mine in this village were taken down by stupid Fulanis. The 5th person is a guest from Nasarawa State We are here today recounting a very sad experience that is predicated on the now known Fulani attitude of we are in charge and we can do anything and nothing will happen to us. These same guys came to this village unannounced between the hours of 4 and 5 p.m. when people were relaxed having their late lunch, came, opened fire and killed as many as they could and left. In known style, any moving animal, any moving human being was shot at. And they left. When the security men were contacted, they never responded until almost 8 hours after. All through the night, the police were informed. The first class chief, I can mention this with all total confidence, because I was in touch with him. He called the area commander. The area commander told him he was busy somewhere. He called the DPO. The DPO said, oh, we have already dispatched people there. And none of them surfaced until the following day. The Fulanis that have not been part of this society, the Fulanis that do not have any reason to come around here, the Fulanis that we don't have any reservoir of water that we say we could be in contest with them about. On what basis would they come and start shooting our people? My pain, and I must express this here, this old system where security men come and camp in the territory of the victims and begin to say they are protecting the victims, we don't need it. They should go and look for the enemy. We know the route of entry of these enemies. They should follow that route and begin to track the enemies. They shouldn't hang around and intimidate our people.
I'm now saying if the security had responded on time,
promptly, there would have been a hot chase on them. Today would have been consoled with the fact that they went after them. Semblance of security could sometimes be consoling. When you have people just coming to sit down with arms sitting under the tree, who are they protecting now? Looking at them, you can be sure they don't have enough logistics capacity to stand even the times they want to keep them around. I feel very bitter because we have served this country, served the country well, and we should not be paid back in this form.
Oh my goodness, that is an ex-soldier and waiting to go through in family members. Almost in entire family they wiped out. Dr. Ketch, thank you so much for rejoining us. Sincere apologies for waiting the network. Did you beg forgive us? So a couple of those videos where I play, the pain of this ex-soldier recounting what happened to his family members and how he feels that the country shouldn't pay him back like this for serving the country. And then with the way this the organization don't blast our media, say we'll not even get front and back for media or the thing pay me well when you say even when their people go boots on ground, go report for the field, for the communities where they are attacked, yet the media and the mainstream media, they don't agree to take the report, and they talk say no evidence. And they talk say the only report, the only news they get now, they will press conferences with government officials, they call us for this is very embarrassing. Well, let me take your feedback.
That is the truth.
Wow.
Well, that is the truth. Someone like me, I have suffered what you're not describing. I told you there were times I go to the mainstream television like channel would be penalized 5 million naira for carrying me on. All that is the strategy by the state to stifle reportings and truth tellings about the Fulani war. Now look at where it is. They were and okay, they were paid money. If you refuse to do what the state asks, they won't give you advert. And if you check, most media houses, they make money from the advert from the state. So if you refuse to do what they want, they won't give you business. Sometimes they will also undermine you through other ways. So this is what the government did, using their control of governance to influence the behavior of the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission to actually hound the media, and the other side, individuals who go out and outrightly bribe the media.
to not report, even if anybody has any of that news item, so as to keep the Fulani jihad low and out of public gaze. It's been on now for 10, 12 years, and this is how this has been. So it is impossible to say the government is not complicit. The government is complicit. You could see the day that President Tinubu went to Benue, and he said, what killings? Why are there no arrests? In 48 hours, there were arrests. That tells you the state is complicit. Because the state is complicit, there's no arrest. So those arrests were only done 48 hours after Tinubu complained on his visit to Benue. He said, why are there no arrests? Then in 48 hours, arrests were done. So it just tells you the people Buhari put in charge of security was like Afghanistan in our country. That is taking those who are loyal to the insurgents into the army. You see also they say they assimilate the Boko Haram people into the army. This Boko Haram and the other militias, Fulani Herdsmen militia and Gandokoi militia, the Mieti Allah Kotohori militia, the Tabita Pulaku militia. These are all militias that are known to government. These are militia whose members are known to us, like Bello Turji, he came from Nigeria Republic to start this here. Abdullah Ibello Bodejo, he came from Nigeria Republic to start his there. So when he came, he stationed himself in Bauchi, but later on he came now to build this militia army in Nasarawa State, which he uses to attack the Benue Basin. So these things are well known tonight. People sometimes get arrested and then get released because they have powerful patrons who are still in position of power. And this is the problem. How are you going to get a man in power position to go against you in terms of a terrorist? Just like remember when Kabiru Sokoto was arrested for the bombing
Christmas bombing. Yeah, Christmas bombing. Yeah.
It was later seen in the home of the present vice president of Nigeria.
No, you never hear the gist, sir. The president, vice president, they don't respond now. I talk, say, you don't know what Kabir Sokoto won't do. He wanted to kidnap his children, sir. He said it in the news now. Forget
those stories.
Yeah.
Listen, he is known on newspapers to have championed for amnesty for the Boko Haram people. You also had the running talks between him and his former boss.
Yes.
Former governor.
Ahmadu Sharif. Ali Modu Sharif.
Now, Ali Modu Sharif said it was Shetima that started Boko Haram. Now, from what I know, it was Ali Sharif that first used resources to set up the Ikumok boys. Ikumok boys were the pool from where Shetima got some people whom he convinced that Alimo Sharif is just using them, this Ikumok boy militia, and bet that they are not doing well for the rest of the state. Why? At that time, Alimo Sharif, who comes from Gamboru Galda, was accused that everything is being monopolized by Gamboru Galda. So the other clans of the Kanuris protested and then fine-tuned the heads of the boys who were formerly in the Ikumok Boys Battalion, and they now metamorphosed into Boko Haram. Don't forget at the beginning, when they were used as a branch of government, blah, 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 religious affairs, Alimodi Sharif did appoint their coordinator, nominated by their lawyer, by their leader, Muhammad Yusuf. Alimodi made him a commissioner. At that time, they were bearing the name Ikumok Boys. So later on, when things didn't go well, Alimodi Sharif took charge and then
recalibrated them, and the Boko Haram was born. So it's not like we do not know this, and this is the reasons why, no matter how you bring up the names of sponsors of terrorism, nothing happened, because a lot of the patrons of terrorism are people in government, and that's why we've never had results. So that's why a lot of us are a little bit very happy that the Americans are finally taking interest in our country.
But the Chinese not they happy about answer. The Chinese don't talk, say they go support Nigeria well to make sure they will fight against terrorism. Say they don't support us since, and they will continue to support us to fight terrorism well.
That's nice. Chinese just make noise.
How?
They like to just, the Chinese will want to make it quiet, don't disturb you, do what you, if you like, kill all your uncles, they don't care as far as you are peaceful enough to do business with them. What have they done since? They kept quiet. It's the Americans that are now talking about the terrorism. Will the Chinese say they don't know? Now that you heard what Femi Falana said the other day on television.
Yes.
That Chinese companies come to northern Nigeria,
absolutely,
seize territories, and then employ some of these Fulani militiamen as security men to cordon off perimeters where them, the Chinese, are mining.
No, these are in communities that are deserted, though. The original owners of those communities don't run away, but they mine there.
Yes, you drive them away and then you bring your mining. So is this the kind of China that will come and talk now when we are talking about issues of morality? Where have they been? China could just be on the same side as the terrorism denials. Yes, there are those who are, even there are pastors. Look at pastors like Omoye. What has Adeboye done since? That's just to tell you some of these people are in it for the money. You have what the other Adefarasin, Nigeria, is saying.
But you know his brother Paul Adefarasin had also said that during the election that it would be hard for David to come because Saul will come before David. Remember?
And listen, these people are not true men of God.
No, sir.
Men. Use the Bible to make by. If they are men of God, they won't see human beings being killed and they say it's not being killed. Listen, one thing you must do is speak the truth, especially when you stand to gain nothing or lose nothing. Speak the truth. The blood's being spilled in the Middle Belt are human beings. And you see, we're talking about a soldier who's talking of how much he gave to the country, but he's been treated badly. During the Civil War, the largest pool of tribal people from the north who independence in the army to prosecute the Biafran War were the thieves. After the thieves as a tribe, the largest in the north was the Bachama. But when the Fulani started their ethnic cleansing and genocide, Bachama visited in kind. And this is not fair. These are the people who fought as they claim to keep Nigeria one during the Biafran War. And then when the Fulani started their game, they were the first people to be wiped out. These are the people who went to the United States. The Bishop of Makode is a TV man. So you get to understand, and the thieves are about 98% Christians. So what are the Islamic Fulanis looking for in Benue State that is 98% Christian? Right. Same thing with Plateau State.
Right.
You see, their strategy of they will fight, when they will fight, and you come and there, you say, okay, stop fighting, stop, or you get this back. Then they will keep the land that they already hold. This is their strategy. And this is part of the reason I blame President Tinubu. You are president for 2 years. Why haven't you removed these militiamen who have committed genocide and seized the land of the indigenous people? Why haven't you removed them from those lands where they have seized? Just as you've seen in Plateau State, they took over 64 communities, changed the names of these communities, and the communities vanishes. Under Nigerian law, whoever occupies or holds another person's property, when caught with the property, will be prosecuted. And then if he brings whoever that stole the property in the first place and before giving it to him, they will be in under section 512 under the Conspiracy Act in our criminal justice system. So I don't understand why Tinubu has developed a code sheet in terms of reacting or calibrating a reaction towards the Fulani jihad. Yes, it's not a Yoruba jihad, it's a Fulani jihad. But has Tinubu kept quiet and not done anything? Is it because he approves of what the Fulani are doing? Or as they say, he's just plotting 2027 elections and abandons governance? If he has abandoned governance because he's plotting for 2027 election, and that's why he doesn't want to offend the Fulani patrons who sponsor this genocide against Christians as a strategy to take their land, then Tinubu is guilty. Don't forget, statesmen are guilty for negligence. You know, and in this case, negligence is a crime. Because, yes, you could say you neglect it, you just keep your eyes away. What if it is as a consequence of you agreeing with the policy of the Fulani sponsors and patrons of this jihadist? That is a crime. All right. Tinubu kept quiet because he doesn't want to, because he took the oath to save lives and properties of every Nigerian. So even, I will add, the persecution of him who happen to be the largest block of tribal, as far as I'm concerned, that in itself is part of the Sharia.
I was going to even mention that because I was going straight to Nnamdi Kano's case, where Nnamdi Kano don't carry matter go meet Trump right now. Nnamdi Kano, they ask Trump, say make he come home, say, in fact, he don't write to Trump, they allege Judeo-Christian genocide for inside Nigeria, and they demand make US inquire for the matter. He give a whole 7-point agenda as he gets to do with the matter where he be saying president before Donald Trump. He talk about the different massacres, the Obi massacre, the Operation Agweke massacre. He talk about all those killings and what don't happen for inside Southeast, and he blame the Nigerian government itself for those killing of Igbos. In fact, even you remember there was there was also an attack being when they attack people, we say the protests for the Trump once like that. He put that one together finish as part of the things that what they don't do against Igbo people. You don't write book. But people they talk say this one don't make any difference. People say this now, what thing you don't apply since and write since. But just a remind them, say you don't write this letter before.
No, what he's trying to prove is that a lot of the killings in the East are perpetrated by elements of the federal government.
That is exactly what
like the unknown government sting operation that was perpetrated by elements of the Buhari administration. Now, those are the things he's trying to bring, because at the peak of the noise under Buhari, there were about 39 different Biafra Nana organizations. And of all of them, only one, IPOB, was genuine Biafra. The rest of the proxies set up by the government, so that when they commit mayhem, they will blame it on Nnamdi Kano's Biafra faction. And this is why, can't you see, the minute Tinubu came in, and Tinubu stopped all federal fundings for the covert operation, the unknown government sting operation ended. This is see, because it was being funded by the elements of the Buhari administration, working directly under BG, and started working to the public to confess the work they were doing as unknown government. So we understand, and I agree with Sani Abacha in saying that if violence persists for more than 48 hours, that the state has a hand in it.
All right. So, sir, do you believe what people are saying? Some people think that President Tinubu perhaps is deploying the services of his very funny friends for diplomacy or diplomatic talks with the United States. Do you agree to that? I mean, this is what former PDP chieftain Benga Oluwepo Hashim has said. criticizing APC for doing that. You think say Tinubu they use some of in Badi them for inside White House to make that kind of thing happen?
The Badi is thinking about is referring to friends like the Bulos family, who are known to be married with the
Trump's daughter.
Yes, so that I have had. I've also seen the gentleman muttering some things that don't make sense. I think the Bulos gentleman doesn't know anything about what's going on.
I remember that he was the first person to grant an interview on national TV to say that there is no Christian
and he was
killing.
lying. The interview was nonsense interview. It had no substance, it had no fact. Because you see, the genocide is real, not joke. So anybody who comes to engage in it will be shamed. Don't forget, this stories from the United States is not based on what Nigerians said. It is based on the information available already with the United States government. They have a better information gathering network than the Nigerian government, even in Nigeria. So the US administration has access to data. They have the information. They have the videos. Don't forget, the US government was involved with the Nigerian government, provided the Nigerian government with a lot of ammunition, showed them to Kano jet and other things,
yes,
very close to having $1 billion.
Yes, and you know that some of those things they sold to them, or some of those rifles, assault rifles. Now, waiting will they see these bandits in the brandish, the CARICOM reconciliation talks,
which is what makes the US government angry.
Hell.
When you give this thing, a lot of these compromise will arrange and then give the equipment to these people. You give them money, they will share funds for them. If they did anything to end the war, the money won't flow anymore. So they probably thought the more they kept this thing going, the more the money will continue to flow. And the US administration understands all this. And that's why you see the Americans said, okay, we'll give you money, it doesn't work. We'll give you ammunition, you can't do it. Let us come in and take out the terrorists ourselves. It's as simple as that. So we agree. If for them to come in, they seek us allowing them a base, we'll be very happy to give them a base.
In fact, you know,
instead of us having terrorists having bases here, it's better we have Americans keep the base and stabilize our country, because the way those who seek to merge the state with religion, who are Muslims, are going about, I don't think we'll have peace. So for that, I think the stationing of American forces in Nigeria may be the best option for the Christians to prevent development of Christian majority in Nigeria.
So just like you've been talking just now, you know, a while before inside this interview, just like you, the traditional ruler of Yelwata community for Benue State, His Royal Highness Kumaga Joe, it don't back the move by the United States President Donald Trump to end the killing of Christians or genocide against Christians in Nigeria. In fact, he does the talk, say, why did they hold on that? In fact, say, make the United States expedite action, make them come fast. They've been long awaited. Let me quote him. According to me, he said, yes. So he said,
majority of Nigerians are not happy that the US government are blowing grammar on this issue. We don't like the rhetorics they're spending on. They should come yesterday. Come. They should come quickly, please. They should have been here since yesterday. I don't like
but Nigerian government will not like this one. So Nigerian government not gonna like this one if they talk like this. Or you know, say no good.
I don't need to talk for what Nigerian government wants. If Nigerian government are in collusion, in complicity with these people. What I want is the protection of Nigerian lives. I want the end of the genocide. Nigerian government has no right to lecture me on what I should do to stay alive. They have failed to protect lives and property. they are seen to pollute. And because of their complicit behavior, I don't trust them. I trust the US government. If part of what we will lose is giving them Port Harcourt, let them come and take Port Harcourt, please. Let them come. We from the east will be happy. Let them have Port Harcourt. If that's the price we pay for us not to be overrun by Islamists who are bent on doing Sharia, on doing jihad in 2025.
All right.
Can you be doing jihad in this day and age?
So now the John traditional ruler, he said the attack on his domain in Yawata, as well as other attacks in Benue State, was carried out by Muslim terrorists. Twist him out. Talk about straight. He said the situation. Yes. He said the situation.
They will shout Allahu Akbar. They will attack you. All of them.
So he said
one of them is done by Christians. They are all. The killings in southern Kaduna are done by Muslim terrorists. The killings all over the country are done by Muslim terrorists. There is nowhere you see anybody killed that is not a Muslim terrorist killing.
In fact, it's just like what Prophet El Buba talked today. Prophet El Buba talked saying they challenge they challenge them, but they show one Christian militia group. Say the fish show one Christian militia group with
the Christians don't have any.
So saying the Fulani man, he say na in Fulani people gone and then they cause the problem. Say na them be the problem of Nigeria, sir. Say na them.
Yeah, that is I've been saying it for long now. The Fulani are the problem of our country. I was saying this in the United States 2013, 2014 when this crisis started. I was saying telling people that our future problem is the Fulani's reaction to democracy. The Fulanis are not happy with democracy because they do not have numbers to succeed. Democracy is a numbers game, and the Fulanis don't have the numbers. And that's why you see them using violence to undermine the country. But the problem is, Nigerians are also divided amongst its indigenous people. You look at the Yoruba Muslims agreeing with the Fulani to attack the Igbo, destroying Igbo properties, because then Yoruba Muslims are in power in Lagos. When you attack the Igbos, who are the largest bulk of Christians, and you attack the largest bulk of Christians in the north, you are attacking Christians. And anywhere is an affront to Christianity, and anywhere Christians live in Nigeria. And this is what we're saying. There is a constant attack of the Igbos. When the Igbo man, Peter Obi, did well in the election, cancelled and wrote something else, acrobatically showed the presidencies to hold it. And because that person they showed the presidency to show is not working with them, that's why you see them now plotting coup, doing all sorts of things. So I support the Americans coming because Tinubu seems very incompetent in the stop the Fulani crisis.
Okay, sir. All right, let's just gloss through some issues very quickly, and I sum them up together. So, I mean, say election in Ghana, you don't come now, you don't tackle Donald Trump when we say Donald Trump a dictator. Say he talk him before, say, now wait to make it talk and that say with here in green card if Donald Trump come into power, because he knows if he come, he will begin revoke green cards, revoke visas and all that. Say he know they different, and I wait to make him go on that time. As they talk, because they talk, so many people need the pressure and making critique President Bola Tinubu administration. Say when they no pressure and say he go access Tinubu administration when he feel like, and when he want to take him time to do him. May nobody force him make it for do him at his own and all that. I go like take a reaction to that, sir, if you want to. But if you don't want to, we'll jump to other issues. This that's in the talk still concerning the visa where then throw away and come up for corner.
Sharing gas issue with the US government is inconsequential, and I will advise everybody to just ignore it. Why do I say this? He was very vocal against Trump, and I think in public there is no more the ocean that we used to know, and all those things he did, they have consequences, and that's what's come to. Look at here, he support those who are committing jihad. The government that did jihad, Buhari. Shoyinka supported Buhari, and he's not said anything. The killing, he said nothing about it. So it took the Americans to come and say something. That's why they told him, you are quick to criticize the United States, but you've not said anything about the genocide in Nigeria. And I agree with them. On that, Shoyinka lost me. Why he wasn't at genocide as it raged under President Buhari. So, but he's quick to talk about the United States. What for? What is he trying to say about the United States when he's not yet talked about Nigeria in the midst of the genocide that has been going on? He kept quiet. What Shoyinka was before. And that's why I think it is wrong for anybody to be deceived or to be misled by Shoyinka's acrobatics. I am not happy with him. And I will continue to say that whatever Shoyinka enough, he is a cause of it.
Okay, sir.
It has nothing to do with us.
All right, sir. So very quickly, moving on, very quickly, let me just run through some other stories concerning this. We hear say the Yoruba Union Igbimo Magical Baje Ile Yoruba. They don't applaud the United States Congress for proposing a bill seeking to ban Fulani herders, including the Major Allah Cattle Breeders Association and the Major Allah Cattle Breeders Association, and along with some top Nigerian government officials allegedly involved in violent attacks and all of that and killing people across the country. Now, they praise USA, they don't do well. And this one, California said a statement where they released today, Thursday. They hailed Dona, say, Ogadona, they don't do well for this one. But in a related development, former governor of Bayelsa State and 7th Senator Syria Dixon, he don't express support for the former US President Donald Trump's recent comments on the mass killings in Nigeria, describing Trump's position as a wake-up call to action. Now, the first official government person, that is person where they government right now, where they talk about to say, Trump, what did they do good? Because every other person they live in denial, including people in the other party, they say, no, there's no genocide. No, Trump should take it easy with us. Now, I'm the first person who don't support him, say, in fact, say this one a wake-up call on us. When you say statement will be saying title, alleged genocide, my stance on President Trump's statement. In issue and today will be Thursday. Dixon emphasized that while Nigeria's sovereignty must be respected, the country must also embrace global partnership and combat terrorism and restore peace. He said, I wish to state first that Nigeria's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and national institutions must be respected by all. At the same time, I fully support any collaborative action aimed at eradicating the murderous bands of terrorists who have wantonly slaughtered thousands of our countrymen and women, Christians, Muslims, and people of other faiths alike. That's what he talked. The senator, he talked a lot of things inside this matter, and people just they thought, say, now what for you, Oga Senator? I think say suppose they, in unity with your other colleagues, and we thought say nothing like that. We're too serious for inside the country. Not vex, but make I take a reaction.
I think you're the person who is wrong. You are wrong because you've not yet heard from other people what you've heard because everybody is relaxed. They do now know the inevitability of the U.S. involvement. And that's why you see them now welcoming it. What Syria Dixon said simply is an honest reaction to what Mr. Trump said. Trump said they are coming here to defeat the terrorists that Nigeria has not been able to defeat. And that's a good thing. And so, Senator Dixon, my personal friend, I like what he said, and I welcome him. Don't forget, he's an opposition politician.
Yes, he is.
So he's not of the ruling party.
Absolutely.
He is he's a opposition. And he, of late, has not been very happy with President Tinubu's style and the way Tinubu has tried to just, bamboozle everybody and appropriate all of the country undemocratically. So Senator Dixon is not happy about that. Don't forget, in his own home state of Bayelsa, his governor, Doye has just crossed over to APC, and Dixon refused to follow David to do that. The deputy governor also refused to follow the governor to do that. Yes. And a lot of elder statesmen refused. I do not know the reasons why Fred Doye done what he has done, but I'm sure he has his reasons, and I do not agree with it, no matter what he has to say, because Bayelsa is not under any threat. Bayelsa should have stayed away with this, but since what has happened, let us just move on with it. But Governor Dixon is right in his position. And as far as we respect and recognize the need for everyone else to recognize and respect the territorial integrity of the sovereign state, that is Nigeria. Okay. We are very grateful of help coming from outside Nigeria for things that Nigeria has failed to do on its own. Thank you. Like containing the terrorism that we now face from the Fulani. So if Tinubu says that should he fight terrorism, that Fulanis would kill him, then that means he's not competent enough to be president. Because if a man is president and he tells you that he cannot protect lives and property, then he's not competent enough to be president. And that's just a way. So I do commend Governor Dixon for his words at the Senate. And that once leaders like that start taking position, other leaders will now understand that if Governor Dixon didn't die, that others, if they speak like Governor Dixon, then nothing will happen to them. That's what leadership is. Thank you. You know, since that's a right to as a leader. Thank you. Dixon has shown leadership, and I thank him very much. And I pray other Nigerians should speak up now for the truth, so that we don't end up dying in the hands of jihadists. Thank you. So just before I open the phone lines, because people don't need to jumping on the conversation, I just make I let you know, say we here say that one US lawmakers don't back President Trump's designation of Nigeria, and in fact, they even asked for stiffer sanctions over alleged killings. So 31 of the lawmakers so far don't back. And it will like say they see the count numbers, will like say more say they look at backing. The more legislatures understand back what's going on, because don't forget the Nigerian lobby in the US is also doing their work. There is a very strong presence of Nigerians in the United States. Yes. There are also Nigerian members of the US Service Corps who are retired servicemen. They have done quite enough to bring our sufferings to public notice in the United States. Nigeria has suffered for more than a decade. So the genocide has been known. The fact that a strong power like the United States has finally now agreed to give voice to our pains simply tells you that it's a good thing for us, and this is the time for everybody to rise and behave like Governor Dixon by embracing the path of truth. I condemn those pastors who are quiet, pastors like Pastor Adebile, who has encouraged the Christian genocide with his support for Buhari. I call him out and I condemn him very much. He has said nothing in the face of this killing of Christians. Of course, you can see that some of the pastors compromise. They even want to deny someone like Kumi, Pastor Kuma, who lives in Europe, who doesn't even live in Nigeria. He's talking nonsense he doesn't know. He doesn't know how we suffer here. So these are the amount of compromised individuals who be the part of men of God. But if you look at them, they're not And I'm not going to at all. We are beginning to train them, and we shall mark them for their behavior during our time and need.
All right.
Nigeria needs parents. Nigeria needs its true patriots to stand up now so that we can stop these killings. No matter how they lie or they try to deny the killings, the United States have intelligence that nobody can compromise. And this is what I tell these people who don't understand. They will see that they are the ones who are blacklisting themselves. A man calls himself a man of, look at coming, the man that people are not being killed. How can you say that? The people are being killed because they want to take over their land. You cannot do jihad in this day and age without doing what jihad was in the past. Jihad always goes with ethnic cleansings, and that means you will have genocide. So I don't understand why pastors who are very happy to go and take money and then give politicians good talks, now that they are seeing Christians being killed, but denying it. Pastor Adeboye, Pastor Kumi, these are two very, very bad people. What has Adeboye said? What has Kumi said? Some keep quiet, you know. Their silence is very, very loud.
Thank you.
And the rest of people like Kumi act on them.
Thank you. So President Tinubu done good thing. You don't talk, say, even though say Nigerians in fear, saying they're ready to engage the world diplomatically to make sure, say, in fight terrorism. So saying they're ready to engage, to seek a partnership across the world to fight terrorism, no matter what happens. When Nigerians' phone lines are open, I'm not going to feel free to jump in at the conversation. You can see that there is a pin post already, so kindly call.
Okay, guys, we're going to move sharply to another stream. Welcome to everyone. Welcome.
It's not light again, no. These investors, are they not hearing that there is no light in Nigeria?
But how somebody looks or some.
By some guests, two guests. I saw one was gone, but I think we lost him earlier. I hope we're doing justice to this topic in a matter of seconds, so please just stay with us and we'll put our guests on the air.
Thank you so much to all those that have liked. If you have not yet liked, please kindly double tap your screen device to like, or click on the three dots on the corner on the right top corner to like the video.
Okay,
please.
We're still here. Please call 0201-277-09. The video link, because it has another program somewhere. So we'll do with our current guest. All right, fantastic.
Good morning.
Fantastic.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, perfect. Everything is perfect.
Welcome,
Thank you very much for your time.
Welcome to Risha. Guys, please
Kaduna?
continue to double tap your screen to like. The likes are pretty low. Please help me get it to 100 likes at least.
We earlier had a security intelligence expert with us. His name is Dr. Yahuza, so he might join again. I don't know, maybe you might be familiar with him. So let's just get straight to the point. Major Abdullah Baker retired. Sir, there is a controversy, and of course you're well aware of whether there's a genocide against Christians in Nigeria, especially in the northern parts of the country. And we've been having that conversation all through the week. We've not talked about anything else apart from yesterday. So, in your opinion, tell us about background, your background, and maybe, your organization, your NGO, as a basis for people understanding your authority to be able to make a verdict on whether there's a genocide against Christians in Nigeria, just so people understand where you come from.
Right, thank you very much. Basically, I'm from Kano, of Kogi local government. Grew up in Zaria, born in Kano. Read in University of Benin. I read engineering, and thereafter I returned back to the services of the Nigerian Army. Served the Army for 27 years before I left, and got into human rights and social justice work, which gave birth to the International Organization for Social Peace Building and Social Justice, which is headquartered in Jos. Being the epicenter then of the crisis, Jos became the most favorable place for us to find out to be, so that we contribute our quota and our little bit, making sure that social justice prevail and peace is restored in communities and in the state and nation in general. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. So you've served Nigeria up to the rank of major for 27 years, the Nigerian Army.
Yes.
You are an indigene of Kano State.
Yes.
You were born in Kano, you're from
Correct.
But you also lived and grew up in Kaduna.
Zaria.
Zaria.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So your organization is into peace building, and you're headquartered in northern Nigeria and Plateau State. So I think people can understand, all of that. But so from your observation, is there a genocide against Christians in Nigeria, or is it just general insecurity that does not target Christians and targets Nigerians irrespective of where they pray?
First and foremost, let's define genocide, what genocide is, because understanding the term will give you a clear answer on what genocide is. Genocide is a crime against humanity, and it involves deliberate destruction of people, not by accident. Militarily, we would say collateral damage. But genocide is not by accident, but is a willing attack on humanity. The UN equally describes genocide as an intent to destroy a whole or a people of ethnic, national, or racial or religious dealings. So that in a nutshell is what genocide is. So if we say, is there genocide in Nigeria? The answer is, based on this definition of genocide, then there is genocide. But did it start now or in the last 2 years? That is the issue. And I think that is where we're mixing it, getting it wrong as a people and as a nation. This issue didn't start now. Before now, there was religious genocide in the Northeast. And that had to do with Boko Haram and others, because the Sheikh House group did not believe in the tenets of the Islam of those practicing Islam in the Northeast. They wanted a change, or they wanted to indoctrinate Northeasterners with their own version of Islam. That is genocide. Then after that, the Plateau Benue issue spiraled. Taraba Plateau Benue spiraled. What was that? Basically, it was displacement in these three states. There was displacement. What do you call that? Well, some call it land grabbing. I would call it ethnic. Then you come to the Northeast, Northwest. It is ethnic. It is religious. Just the same templates that occurred in the Northeast is what is occurring in the Northwest, where the particular people want to influence or control the narrative of their aspect of religion. But I tell you, in the Northwest, to be candid, there is no Christian genocide in the Northwest. Except, of course, if you look at southern Kaduna, where it's gone down in the last 2 years completely. Almost in the last 2 years. So if you look at it to give a balance, there is national genocide.
Okay.
But if you look at Benue, Plateau, Taraba, which are predominantly Christian, you call it a Christian genocide.
All right, this is quite interesting. It's academic as well. You've talked about religious genocide, Major retired Abdullah Banki. Beke, sorry. You've talked about religious genocide. Then you talked about ethnic or tribal genocide. And then thirdly, you talked about national genocide. Now, for the religious genocide, you said adherents of a particular form of Islam have been killing or went after those who participated or believed in another form of Islam, starting with Boko Haram. That was in the northeast. Am I correct, sir? That's the first thing you said, northeast. Then you went to
Correct.
Taraba, Benue,
Yes.
Plateau State, which should be north central. And you talked about ethnic.
Well,
Sorry, sir.
genocide.
Ethnic genocide. Okay. Or tribal
Ethnic genocide.
genocide. Okay. So for the one in the middle in Taraba, Plateau, and Benue State, that is ethnic genocide. Who is committing the genocide and who are the victims of the genocide?
Fine. The victims are the indigenous people of that land. Those are the victims. And of course, those committing the genocide are referred to as they're basically militants.
From where? They
Whatever.
No. Yeah.
Well,
they come from somewhere.
If you are to give them a name, they're basically militants.
No.
Basically, anybody carrying a weapon.
Major Beke.
But if you want to give them an ethnic, if you want to give, yes.
You said it's
if you
an
want to give them
ethnic.
an ethnic coloration.
Major, you gave it. You said it was an ethnic genocide. So which ethnicity is killing is taking out which one?
Most victims, majority of the victims we've worked with always tell you they are Fulanis.
Victims.
Because some are even resident within their community.
Okay.
You don't know. The assailants.
Oh, okay. The victims tell you the assailants.
The assailants.
Okay. All right. So which
are Fulanis.
Okay.
So you see the identity of the assailants is known.
All right. That's what you found out. Okay. So in the northwest, you said it was not. What did you find in the northwest?
The northwest I will look at, and I will say it's more of it's both ethnic and religious.
Okay, so it's ethno-religious genocide. Can you please break it down?
Yes, ethno-religious.
Okay, so let's start from the religious.
Fine.
Yes.
Yes. From the religious, I will come down to Zaria. The extermination of the Shias in Zaria, because they're a minority, is religious. The state exterminated the Shia movement, or rather the Shia Muslims, some years ago, over 3,000 in a day. That is religious. So that alone tells it does not stop. Once the religious minority in the northwest are always the targets. But this is what is happening is both ethnic, because those being targeted in the northwest are mostly Hausas. Hello.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Are you getting me?
You said those being targeted in the northwest.
The targets, the victims in the northwest are mostly Hausas. Hausa Muslims are basically the targets.
And who are the ones? Who are the perpetrators from your findings?
Here in the branch. From my findings, it's the same Fulanis.
Major, you haven't mentioned. Okay, so let's look at the ethnic aspect, since it's in Northwest, not religious, because you actually have a 300 and how do I put it now? A 312-page report.
About 360 pages.
360-page report that you put the organization has put together. I haven't seen any organization do this. And you call it Nigeria's silent genocide.
Yeah.
And the writer there, genocide in Nigeria and the implications for
silent slaughter.
Yeah, genocide in Nigeria's silent slaughter. Sorry, genocide in Nigeria and the implications for the international community.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at in the Northwest. Let's look at the ethnic aspect of it. So who are you talked about the Hausas, and then you talked about the Shia. So I think you've covered that.
Yeah.
In the Northeast, you said some Muslims are being killed. Which are the what sect? Let me call it that is under attack. What strain of Islam is under attack from who? In the Northeast.
It's not a sect, but an ideology.
Okay.
Yes.
So
an ideology is under attack.
Who are those being killed?
Those that have been living in peace. The Hausas.
Hausas are being killed.
The traditional Hausa owners of the land are being killed. Yeah.
All right. And then in the Middle Belt, which tribes are we looking at as victims?
Well, the Middle Belt has the largest number of ethnic groups and tribes in Nigeria. So it's in Benue. In Benue is Agatu, Tifi. On the plateau, the Birons, the Magavuls are all killed. The Miangos. So every tribe in the plateau and Benue, have had their own fair share of these killings.
Oh, fantastic. And you said in the last 2 years, Southern Kaduna would have been part of your list, but in the last 2 years, the insecurity in Southern Kaduna, the killings have been virtually eliminated. Tell us about that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's you go through the records. If you want to share it with you, you'll find that what we have in Southern Kaduna is limited because we hadn't accessed information in Southern Kaduna. But if you look at the last 2 years, you'll find out that Southern Kaduna has been very, very calm, but with one or two hits here and there. That shows you the intent, what is going on in government. I mean, this thing is not overnight. You can't do this thing overnight. It's a gradual process. And I think when probably the presence of the Chief of Defense Staff, then Christopher Musa, was responsible for that. And certainly it could be. But then, without the government support, Christopher Musa couldn't even have done that if he did. But this is evidence of something happening to take charge of the situation of insecurity. And it goes down from Abuja to Kaduna Road, Abuja-Kaduna Highway. In the last 2 years, well, for the first 6 months of this government, there was, flying that route on a daily basis, 2-3 times a day, there were kidnappings. But I tell you, in the last year, 6 months plus, flying that route has been very, very safe. Then you look at the train attacks of 2-3 years ago, there is no more train attack. So security is being addressed. But I think there is a disconnect with that of the Northwest. That's the truth. There is the Northwest insecurity issue is being foiled by something else.
What is it being foiled by? You have to lean back a bit, please.
Yeah. Well, I would say, don't forget, whatever you see as an you live as you are totally dependent on oxygen to make a living. So I believe the issue of maybe the climate change has no role, but that religious component is there because the silence on what happened by northern elites, on what happened to the Shiites in Zaria, has given oxygen to that. If the northern elites had cried out over humanity on what happened in Zaria, they are human beings first and foremost. The Shiites are human beings first and foremost. So if the northern elites had cried out and insisted that justice be done on what the state did in Zaria, I believe those bandits in the northwest won't have oxygen. So the northern elites didn't bother about what happened to humanity in Zaria, and humanity is being, decimated. Human beings are being decimated in the northwest. So yes, it's a northern elite issue.
Okay.
Conspiracy of silence by northern elites.
All right, Major Abdullah Beke retired. We'll come back to you in a matter of minutes to move the conversation forward. Our listeners, I'm sure, want to chip in as well. Please stay with us. This is still the Morning Cross Run. We'll be right back.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Mommy, what is 3 plus 1 plus 1?
Outside and connected
Over. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. This is not going to happen. The killing of Christians is not going to happen.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. Still with us, the Chief Operating Officer of the International Organization for Peace, Building, and Social Justice, Major Abdullah Beke, retired. He joins us right here on 99.3 Morning Crossfire. Good morning. Now, his organization released a 360-page report, and we've been talking about. I mentioned it earlier, but we've not gone into details. But I asked for his summary or his understanding of what is happening in Nigeria, especially in the northern parts of the country. You just heard United States President Donald Trump say that Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. And of course, our guest has said that in the northeast, you have a religious genocide. In the north central, Benue, Taraba, and Plateau states, you have an ethnic genocide. And in the northwest, you have ethno-religious genocide. And then, so he said we have religious genocide, ethnic genocide, but he said in Nigeria we have national genocide. It's going to help us understand what he means by that. Now, in his submission, he has not for once said we have a Christian genocide. He said in the northeast it's Boko Haram and other Islamic groups who are going after Muslims who may not practice their own brand of Islam. I want to call it that, for want of a better term. But he says, those Muslims will be, for losing their lives there. In the central part of the country, in the states that he's mentioned, Taraba, Benue, and Plateau, he's talked about the local tribes, the Tiv and all that. In the northeast, he says houses, when it comes to the ethnic part of the houses are majorly those who are losing their lives. General, Major Abdullah Beke, retired, sir. From your 160 pages, I've seen it's talking about the killings in the country. Are Christians being killed? Sorry. Is there a Christian genocide?
Christians are being killed.
Christians are being killed.
There is a Christian genocide in the Middle Belt. Yes.
In the Middle Belt.
Parts of Niger, Middle Belt, parts of Niger, Taraba.
Or Plateau.
In the Middle Belt region, yes.
Okay. So in parts of Niger and Taraba state.
Yes.
Okay. This is different from what is happening.
Niger, Taraba, Benue, Plateau.
Okay. Niger, Taraba.
It's quite different from what is happening in the northeast. Northwest.
Okay. So you said it was more of an ethnic genocide.
Yes.
So
it is ethnic because another ethnic group is wiping out an ethnic group equally.
So that means it's not religious then.
It's well, you see, the problem is, who are those doing this? Who are those doing it? Are they Muslims? Are they Islamists? Are they Fulanis or who? But when the victims tell you they are Fulanis, they don't say they are Muslims. The victim tells you they are Fulanis. The Fulanis came, attacked us at this. The Fulanis came, identified this. What do you call that?
Okay, so
it's one ethnic group.
So the victims see.
But you see, those being attacked, are Christians. So, but then the religion of Fulanis, majority is seen as Islam.
And the religion
of Fulanis are Muslims, yes. So
the religion. What about the religion of the victims? Are they a mixture of?
The majority Christians in the Middle Belt.
Are there some Muslims?
I've not. I don't. In all our work, it's not encountered where Muslims were massacred by the same intruders. By saying it's not.
Okay. So would it therefore be right to target a genocide on Christians? So would you prefer, looking at your study, calling it something else?
Well, if you look at that study, it's as far back as 2020. And that was at the heat and the peak of the crisis on the Plateau, Benue, and Taraba. But now the crisis has spiraled beyond the states. They're there in Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, Niger. So, as at the time we did this report, you find out that the Northwest was not involved in this matter. The crisis in the Northwest was not there. It was more of cattle rustling, kidnappings, and so on. Okay. So as at the time we had this report, the Northwest was not engulfed in this crisis. As that's 2020. Because this work you saw started as 2019 through to 2020. So the Northwest was a big camp, but for cattle rustling and kidnappings.
Interesting. So what are the findings of your report? 360 pages. Yes, run us through it, please.
The report speaks for itself. The situation is clear. The pictures speak for themselves, and that there is a massacre. There is a silent slaughter.
Okay.
There is a silent slaughter of Nigerians. That's what the report says.
What are your thoughts on Donald Trump's speech? He says there's an existential threat to Christianity. That means that Christianity could be eliminated in these areas. Maybe there's an orchestrated plan to take Christians out and replace it with something else. Do you agree with that line of thinking?
Well, if you understand the church in Nigeria, particularly the Middle Belt through the Northeast, they are basically evangelicals. Hekan, Tekan, Ekwa, Koki, EYN, they're all basically evangelicals. And that is purely an American-based church system. So there is no evangelicals and conservatives. So the conservatives in America, who are supporters of Trump, have an eye on their congregations in Nigeria. So that's also true. So Donald Trump doesn't have sufficient information. If you say Christians in Nigeria, what do you talk about? The Pentecostals in the Southwest. Are they going through the same thing? Because that's their base. What do you talk of the Catholics in the Southeast? But for the North Central through to Southern Northeast, it is purely evangelicals. The churches there are purely evangelicals, and that the evangelical church is the conservatives in America. They control the government, they have the government, and that is it. So his speech, what he said is about Christians, but there are different Christians, groupings in Nigeria. But for the evangelicals, he's right.
He's right that the church, Christians are being killed because it is the evangelical church that is under threat in the Middle Belt
and the Northeast.
Okay, but are they being killed?
And that is an American base.
Are they being killed on account of Christian, and therefore we're going to kill you for your Christianity, or are they being killed on account of you want to take over your land? You don't care what you know, where you worship or your religion. Just get out. We want to take your land.
Despite that, they are being killed for land grabbing. Muslims are equally being killed for the same thing in the same regions. And of course, the issue of displacements. You know, so when the people are displaced, what are they displaced for? What are they displaced for?
No, but yeah. So is it for just for land? You know, struggle for natural resources. Maybe you have some, you know, lithium, gold, and we just want to take it over, or we want to chase you away. So maybe some foreign entities can come and do it. So it's not about your faith. It's just about you want your land.
I don't think it's the land, it's the matter of natural resources. I don't think so. Before 1960, before Nigeria, before the world, before anybody was called a Nigerian, the natural resources existed. They were not put there by man, but by God. So, and the extractions are not just here. There are extractions all over. In fact, why is it not happening in the Niger Delta? There is a natural resource, the mainstay of the economy. So why aren't people being killed and pushed out of their land there? There's natural resources in the east. There's coal. Why are people being not driven out of their lands because of coal? It's all natural.
Okay. I see from 2019, you sort of chronicled or detailed attacks from 2019. There's so many. So how many attacks did your report, your study, can you put your finger a number, count from 2019? I can see a list of, it's 918 attacks.
Attacks. It's beyond that.
18 from 2019
That's
to
beyond
2020.
as at the time of the report, yes.
All right, 2020. Then you have a list of churches destroyed by Boko Haram, just in Northeast alone. I can see in Damaturu, I mean, it's local government by local government, 15. Just in, so in all, you have about, is it 82 in Borno State alone?
82, yeah.
This is
about that, yeah.
Okay, between what year is this?
That's
from 2008.
2008, yeah.
Okay, all the way to 2012. About okay, so do you have a number? You have a number of maybe people who have been killed. How many deaths have you counted?
Yes, the numbers are there. If you look at the other data too, the Nigerian silent slaughter, you see the names of persons, but we couldn't get the data of certain states. But we got that of Taraba, we got that of Benue, names, local governments and dates.
I can see the names here. I can see the villages here. Village, local government, and then the state. Even the date, the year. I can see them here. Okay, so are these, persons? So this is Taraba and Benue State.
Yes.
Are these persons of all faiths, or are they just Christians?
They are Christians.
Does it mean that nobody in Taraba and Benue, who is a Muslim, was killed?
Of course, they are, but the Christians are crying out for the Christians.
So come again.
The Christians are speaking out for their faith and their faithfulness. Everybody is free to speak out.
So you counted only Christians?
Oh, yes.
Is it that you saw some Muslims who were killed, you didn't count them, or you didn't come across?
We didn't see Muslims in these locations.
All right, so sir, in the Middle Belt, is it a religious genocide, a Christian genocide? I want you to say it, yes or no.
Hey, you want to box me? Well, yes, it's a religious genocide in the Middle Belt and Southern Northeast.
All right. Let's throw our lines open. So he's talked about Northeast, Northwest, central Nigeria or north central, and the different dynamics to this is 360 page report. I haven't read it all, trust me. So you bear with me. 99.3, good morning.
Good morning, Kofi. Peter Bond from Shangotedo. I want to agree with your guest with the major to some extent because, as he says, I'm from Benue State and Idoma by tribe. If you look at it, if you look at that side, to the best, we are not really not Muslim, but predominantly Christian. I can tell you that if we move from one point to point, you can see one denomination in one particular place for how long. But that's not my concern again. He made something that I might slightly agree with you. When you ask, when he was saying something, predominantly the major tribes in Benue State, the Tis and the Agatu. If you watch the Agatu, to the best of my knowledge, they are Idoma speaking subset of the Idoma. And so the major tribes there for me is the Idoma and the Tis. But this is my question to the security expert. Being a retired major, it has been bothering me. Is the Nigerian military compromised as it is now? Considering what they did, I won't go back to Liberia again. They are present in Ekomog. Is the Nigerian military compromised? Good morning.
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting question. Major Beke, sir, your reply to it.
The Nigerian military is not compromised. But the bottom line, the truth about it is, the training was not there for this kind of warfare. I can't, by my own training, I don't think I'll be able to deploy adequate in the present circumstances because I was not trained for counterinsurgency and counterterrorism. So there is a limit to what we can do. But of recent, I can tell you, the counterterrorism and counterinsurgency training has been scaled up seriously. We have a whole unit and a barrack that stops somewhere. So there is going to be a shift. That I believe from this is we are not. There is a basic military training, which is attack, withdraw, whatever like that. But counterinsurgency, the enemy is within your neighbors or whatever. So you are not actually trained for that. So the challenges of readopting or changing what you've learned is not easy. A doctor cannot be a nurse cannot be a doctor. But they're all medical personnel.
You can see even the pictures of people killed in your...
So expect a change in the narrative, in the security situation. And that I assure you.
Right. I can see the pictures of some of the persons killed in your report, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Some from Agatu Resource Innovation Center, with names and details and pictures of people who've lost their lives. All right, 99.3.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Boyes calling from Afro Media. I thank you again. Said they were talking about the police and we all heard from him. And yet, our president will still tell us, he's coming, they are going to do this and that. That's why we say, enough of this propaganda. Let the truth be told, just as that my gentleman is saying it there. And let whether it is Trump or whether it's anybody that wants to help Nigeria, let him come in and rescue the country. We are in a mess. Enough of this propaganda. That's why I'm concerned. Whether they're killing Muslims or killing Christians, or the thing is, too many people have died. So let the truth be told.
Sure.
That's my concern. Thank you very much.
I'm looking at one of the sheets here from Kajuru local government area in Kaduna State. The data was collected on Monday, but there was an incident on Monday, 11th of March, 2019, at 6:10 a.m. Kufana district is where Kajuru, in Kufana district. Yes, and I see 21 people, 22, 42, 63 people killed, 71. And what are some of the names here? Some of them they're mostly farmers. So this is the kind of data you have. Mostly farmers. You have people like Lami Ayubo.
Judd Saul with Equipping the Persecuted. I'm the executive director. And I just want to bring attention to a situation that our team has come across in Nigeria. It's hard for me to put it into words, what we run into. Our team got a call of a group of Christians that needed immediate aid. And we found out that these are people who had been ransomed out from a terrorist camp. And what's happening is Fulani Muslim terrorists frequently kidnap people and ransom them out. And many times if they don't pay ransom, a lot of them are killed. But a lot of people never ask the question, what happens to Christians if they're not ransomed out of these camps? Well, we've discovered a camp run by Fulani Muslim terrorists where Christian children, men, women are being starved to death. They're being beat and tortured on a daily basis. And a group of these victims have been ransomed out, and they came out looking like Holocaust survivors. The situation was absolutely horrendous. And we immediately deployed aid and resources to bring them back to health, cover any medical costs. And they are so traumatized, we're having people come alongside them to help them through all this trauma, to just digest everything that happened. We've got a little boy that watched his brother starve to death. We've got another kid who watched his two brothers be killed in front of them in the camp. And these are at the hands of radical Fulani Muslim terrorists. And we know there's 200 people still in this camp. This camp hasn't been liberated. And we have reason to believe that the Nigerian government knows that this camp exists because this camp is close to a military base in Kachia, Nigeria. Now, I'm trying to raise as much attention and awareness as possible so we can once and for all try to put an end to persecution in Nigeria, to raise awareness and tell the Nigerian government enough is enough. Protect your own citizens. Stop this madness. And I'm calling on the U.S. government and any other foreign government to lay pressure on Nigeria until they can start protecting its own citizens. Our mission has been on the ground there for 4 years. I've seen death. I've seen horrible things. But this is just beyond horrendous and awful. Still, last year over 5,000 Christians were killed. There's still well over 3 million Christians who have been removed from their homes, living in camps. But then on top of it all, they're going in and they're kidnapping Christians and torturing them and starving them to death. So I'm calling on everybody that sees this video. Please visit our website, support our mission so we can continue to help fight the persecution, so we can help stop the persecution of Christians in Nigeria, and we can come to the aid of those that are in need, but also take action. Call your congressman, call your senator, call your governor, anybody you can talk to raise awareness about this situation so we can put a stop to this. But we can't put a stop to it if we ignore it. Stop to it if the Christian media ignores what's going on in Nigeria, and we can't stop this if the mainstream media ignores what's going on in Nigeria. I'm getting really tired of mainstream media and people saying that Christian persecution doesn't exist and it's just tribal conflict. That's baloney, it's malarkey, they are full of, I'm a Christian and I can't say the words I want to say. But let me tell you, that we can do something about this with your help.
Some of una dey like that, you know, feel better for una mama, una papa, the person wey buy una phone, the money wey una take buy phone, and she ere lopo ju ni. Eyan mo lásán, eyan mo àbí epa, eyan mo àbí igbe sọnù. You people never want good for this country. A few days ago, I was here shouting, Ashiwaju, nothing must happen to we, the citizens of Nigeria. Me, where they shout, I dare United Kingdom. I dare for my house, not be me rent. So, if anything, if Trump reach Lagos, the only thing why I forget for Lagos now my 50 kg bag of rice, Gary. But I am here as a mother, as a concerned citizen. I'm using my little efforts to drag the president to at least listen to our cry. Tí ó bá ń ṣe pé ló ṣì, àwọn ọmọ àkọ́gbàgbé nìyí. Go down my page. How many years Buhari take rule? I will be doing video, we will be shouting. Buhari even tell una say yes, say una dey cry, be una dey shout. Person wey hear dey pay. Life is step by step, one at a time. It took an international organization to drag our president to respond. And I did a video, I said, Asiwaju, swallow your pride. People cannot be hearing people shouting, justice for China, justice for this, our children, our schools, our security, everything. And the government ignores us. This man just said, at least they are tackling the issue. Let us even appreciate the fact that he opened his mouth and said something. If you keep quiet, you will be there. You will just be using your keypad warriors. If they call protest now, if people will not come out, and you are looking for a better Nigeria, was Rome built in a day? Even the Almighty God that is our creator that said he died on the cross of Calvary, we still keep praying, we still keep crying on his neck for him to answer us. So who is our government that will not cry? The people that are supposed to be opposition, that they are supposed to be helping us to drag the government, they are there. They have don't go and join the ruling party. Even abroad, opposition, they always tackle the government. We don't have anybody tackling the government for us. We have become opposition ourselves. You know, Lori Buruku, now come they tell me, say, waiting Baba talk. If Baba ain't terrorism, I go do party. I hear him a badge. Simple. I'm not there. You see, a president that listens, but don't swallow your pride. Talk to your citizens. Jagaban has spoken. We should keep our mind at rest. Simple. We are not asking for too much. See what no Kobane, when you dey campaign for Kobane, we come here say Trump they come, and we screamed, we cried, we shouted, and you are talking now. And this is all that matters. A system that connects to the people. Simple. Omomagaji. Ọmọ àbí bá lọ́rùn tí ẹ ò ní bàjẹ́ bọ̀gùn. Ẹ tó bá ní kó má rí ṣe, àwọn náà ní rí ṣe. Àwọn tí ò ní jọ ṣe é ṣe fún ẹ, tí wọ́n ní ò ní ṣe é ṣe. What more? A president that listens. Seek for help. Speak out. Tell the citizens something. Look at it. Who says that our voice does not count? We are the change. All we need to do is to have open ears. Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ayé ò ní bàjẹ́ ní agùn. Ó ní ṣíṣe. Òkú yẹ Ọlọ́run ò ní sún ọmọ máa ṣalátìlẹ́yìn fún ẹni. We said it. Nothing must happen to us. And look at what the president has said. The task is enormous. Nobody is saying it's easy, but let us know that it is not easy. Simple. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. We agree to disagree, we disagree to agree. When we tell you people that all is not well, believe us. We are mothers. We cannot afford to fail. We are the frontliners. How can President Trump say he's coming and you are keeping quiet? Now you have spoken. Tuale, sir. Your Excellency, Mr. President, thank you for your response.
The task ahead is a mess. We are engaging the world diplomatically. And we assure all of you that we will, defeat terrorism in this country.
Jokers, look at your terrorists chilling, doing video in the bush. See them? They jollof. Even get new bike. A new bike you get. Hey!
are welcome, sir. You are welcome. A lot of people have been displaced. Many lost their parents, many lost their siblings. These are just the few people left. Thank God you finally remembered us and came to our rescue. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Wow. It's quite sad. I said, let me come and see my people. I got you something. I brought some food. Let's have it.
Make you no believe. Waiting them they talk on and them show face again. Everything where them promise us before. We there for years, we never seen and them be the architect of your suffering.
What is the food? I brought quite a little. I thought they have finished all of you. I didn't know there were still some numbers here. But don't worry, I will bring more food, okay?
Okay, sir.
I will bring more food.
Oh, thank you so much.
They can compare maybe 3 people in one place.
Same old story every day. It pain us still, then they mock us. But they forget, say now we get power, make them not take us play.
Come. Now our people now. No, relax. They are not here to harm you. They are here to collect what belongs to them.
Shh. Hey, bring this food. Bring the food. Governor, they are taking the food. Has it finished?
The food? Well, actually, I brought the food for them. But Jesus. When I came, I did not see them. So I decided to do small charity with you people. But no problem. So I will...
Well, this country don't spoil.
No problem. I will see what I cannot do when I come next.
Oh, Governor, now only this small meat to put for us. 6 small meat, sir.
How many meat there inside?
Small meat you give us now.
No verse. I will make... Which one will you eat?
Turkey.
Okay, I'll bring turkey whenever I'm coming next.
Anybody that is supporting this wicked government that is taking the life of our parents, it shall not be well with their generation.
Senator Minor, I say,
yes, my governor.
Let's go. Let's see the edit.
Governor Omoye, with a heart full of compassion, today has visited internally displaced people in Omoroko. This came early hour today in a heartfelt visit where he shared food and water to the displaced people. He assured them that their security will be guaranteed, and this brought real joy to Omoroko people. What a compassionate leader. What a God-sent state.
Lord of God.
Do you guys know that your new INEC chair wrote about the genocide in Nigeria? Yes, he did. I'm going to bring that later on in the day. And then Sheikh Gumi is giving Malcolm Omirobo, the lawyer, to withdraw a statement he made on his Facebook. 24 hours ultimatum. Otherwise, he's going to sue him. Oh, terrorist. Kai.
Since you said I stand for that, and I'm the kind of person that go to places where I'm not invited.
Such a shame.
So participate in a protest. This guy, one of the most loquacious, one of the most unprofessional person, was shouting on TV that nobody has the right to protest in Lagos. How can a police commissioner say that people don't have rights to protest? And then when he discovered I actually went to the contest, he then got upset. He lost his mind and declared me wanted. We decided that we would challenge him before. That's why we and we've been here since our case was the last we had was Justice Kakakiche, and he graciously granted our order, restraining them from any attempt to declare me wanted. And we are going to argue the substantive truth because I really badly need that 500 million naira. When I do get it, I will use it to buy more EBA, which is where I get my strength from. On the strength of what I'm telling you guys, when you look at Nigeria and you see what they are paying attention to, what is prioritized, you understand why I say everybody must rise up in this country once and for all. You don't need Donald Trump to tell you that this guy is happy. And Donald Trump is not different from them. Anyways, let us unite and save our country. And I volunteered myself. And all these guys you see behind me, and those of you who are behind the camera, have all volunteered yourself. You are ready to take the risk. It can't get worse than this. You are already a slave in your country. You are already submerged by poverty, by unemployment, by all kinds of health issues, from malaria to typhoid. You have been besieged with bad roads, with no schools for your children, with no salaries. Even the policemen that are involved in this, I fought for them, and 29,000 of them got promoted. But the next day they came out of my hand, the CSP came and voted. The following 2 weeks, another CSP took me to Kuje. But that's not, I'm not complaining. I have said it, my fight for justice doesn't see whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. It doesn't care whether you are male, female, you are young or old. I don't even care about your sexual orientation. I am for everybody. And it doesn't matter whether you like me or not. But I believe in our lifetime, this country deserves better. And that's why I want to thank our lawyer who drove all the way. He was driving us for money, filing this lawsuit. And now it has been heard and the judge has done justice to it. I know the next thing he says that do not trust the judiciary. Well, the trust in our judiciary is not up to the judiciary. It is up to us, the citizens who show up. The judiciary must do justice. That is why I came to court, and I don't need to be in court. And yes, if the judiciary cannot give us justice, we must bring justice to the judiciary. So, of course, I thank the judge for having the courage, even when it was late in the day and it was his last case, and he was very tired, he still took the case. But I know that they have other plans. But I just read that in Abuja, the DSS was trying to declare me wanted. While I was declared wanted in Abuja, I mean in Lagos, yes, because they said I called Tinubu a criminal. And I keep saying, is Tinubu not a criminal? If it's not, has Donald Trump not proven that he's a criminal by aiding and abetting people who are killing people they say Christians? So our position is not that there's no genocide. There's genocide, but it's not against Christians. There's genocide against everybody in Nigeria. There's genocide against Muslims, Christians. There's genocide that is carried out by the Nigerian state systematically against Nigerian people. Hunger, starvation, corruption is the source of genocide. That in itself is genocide. Starvation of people deliberately is genocide. Paying people peanuts instead of salaries that can make them live is genocide. Destroying people's houses that they labored and sweat to build is genocide. Because most of those people who don't have houses will go and kill themselves, or something will kill them. When you kill somebody's source of livelihood, you have committed some kind of genocide. But they want United Nations definition of genocide. But we are telling you that this is our own traditional definition of genocide. Because we do no genocide now, so what are you to take over? Thank
you. On that note, my people, we'll call it a day. We will close the show for now. Perhaps later on we'll continue. But thank you so much, everyone that was able to join me. Thank you for all the likes. Although we can do better with the likes, though, quite honestly. And I see that the poll, overwhelmingly, people are in support of Donald Trump's actions in Nigeria. So I see that. Anyway, we'll continue to observe and watch what's going on. I heard that Nnamdi Kanu also directed a letter to Donald Trump. We're going to try and look into that. And also the letter that the new INEC chairman, that he had done about the genocide in Nigeria. I'm going to bring that and we can talk about it later. But thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.